fight. Joining us now live in our Chesapeake studio there in Western Branch is Bill Weaverling. And Bill has been fighting hard. We've got a new bill in the Virginia Senate, SB-795, introduced by State Senator Siobhan Dunavant, which I am a big proponent of. This bill allows your physician to prescribe cannabis or marijuana, if you will, where the doctor thinks that it's going to be helpful to the patient. And it, obviously it's a prescription, becomes legal. And so it's between you and your doctor, which I think this is the best bill on cannabis they've had. And to try to break this down, because he's got a personal story to tell and a vested interest in it, is my good friend Bill Weaverling. Hey, Bill, good to have you with us, man.
Hey, John, how are you doing, man? Thanks for having me back on.
Never better. So explain very quickly how this bill would affect your family if it passes.
Well, what I'm excited about with this bill is precisely what you said. It allows the physician to be able to decide for which condition they'll have the freedom to be able to recommend cannabis oils or their derivatives for conditions that they think would benefit their patients. So not only would it benefit my son with severe autism, not only would it benefit his aggressions, but it would also benefit other Virginians as well, for those suffering with HIV, maybe cancer, ALS, MS, Crohn's disease, and maybe some of those other conditions. And so it would be a great win for Virginia. What makes it even more exciting is because this year, probably more so than any other year, we probably have our greatest opportunity to make this happen. Because of the way the elections went last time, we in some degrees, it's not good to have a more progressive government, but in this particular case, it does for this particular issue because it increases the likelihood that a bill like this could pass. And so what we do is we need the support of all of you out there to kind of help give it a little extra push and make sure that we're successful this year in making this happen.
So what do we need to do to make this happen? Because, look, I am so much in favor of this because if you believe in the relationship between you and your doctor, or your doctor and your children, or your doctor and whatever family member you have or friend that you have, right? We always want to protect that relationship. Part of the whole reason, Obamacare passed is he said if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor and all that stuff. Why would anybody be opposed? This is mind-boggling to me. Why would a Republican be opposed to a doctor prescribing something for a patient that doctor determines would help the patient? Why would a Republican be not in favor of this?
I can't fathom why, especially when you consider the person that is sponsoring the bill, Senator Dunavant, is a Republican, and she's a doctor. I mean, that to me, that has all the credibility and political cover that they should need to be able to vote for a bill like this. It just makes sense. So
this is SB-795.
SB-795, that's right.
SB-795, that's short for Senate Bill number 795, Dr. Dunavant's bill, and this makes perfect sense to me. I don't know what the argument is going to be. I mean, there's just some Republicans in this body, Bill, quite frankly, that you mention the word marijuana and they go crazy.
Well, one of the things for people to keep in mind is these are non-intoxicating cannabis oils. I mean, science is great. Science has gotten to the point where they can extract one of the thousands of different cannabinoids, many of the different cannabinoids available in marijuana that actually don't get you high. So to me, that kind of eliminates and kind of negates that argument.
Well, the thing that always makes me laugh, and look, I'm not in favor of legalizing pot. Chap Peterson talked me out of that ages ago. But the Republicans that will vote no will then go down to the bar over the street and down 5 Jamesons in 15 minutes. The whole thing is asinine. But explain how this cannabis oil, how this became a medical solution for your son. Explain that.
Well, if you look at helpdakota.com, I've put together a lot of studies and preclinical trial study kind of information as to why marijuana would help him with his severe autism. My son's pretty aggressive. That's pretty common and typical with kids and teens and adolescents with severe autism. And they don't really have a way to express themselves. My son is almost nonverbal. To kind of give you like full picture, he's still in pull-ups kind of thing at the age of 15. And when he decides to do what he's doing in terms of being aggressive, he kind of goes all out, kind of fight or flight. And so from what we've read and researched, we believe that this is a medicinal approach that may work where pharmaceuticals have failed us. And it's really important to us because we believe it'll allow him to come home, because right now we're fighting with the city of Chesapeake and everything else in order to be able to try to get funded a suitable facility, because so far we haven't been able to find a suitable facility in the state of Virginia that can handle his needs and or his aggression. Many Virginia Medicaid-funded facilities have denied him coverage, and it's kind of put him in a position to where the only other options available are out-of-state options, which only take municipal funds, because municipal funded facilities don't have their modality of treatments restricted by Medicaid or insurance companies. And then when it's municipal funded, well, then you got to convince the city, they got to cough up the funds to fund these things. And so with him being assaulted in his last facility, which we're going through, criminal process on that for the people who did that, and with him being temporarily in an acute care hospital in New Kent County, pretty much every 3 months it's like, okay, he can stay a little bit longer kind of thing. His future is kind of uncertain in terms of where he's going. He's not really in a position to be able to come home because, when he does get that aggressive, if I'm not home, if I'm at work, because I have to work to make a living, I'm the sole provider, that puts my wife in a position to where, if she had to stop him, she'd have to hurt him, and no parent wants to be put in that position. So because of the fact that no one seems to want to cough up the funds to help him find a suitable treatment facility to treat his aggression, meaning the city, and since he's not ready to come home yet, I either have to quit my job and live at home full time, which I'm not going to do. I can't do. I have too many other obligations, my other children and everything else. Or we got to find something else that will make it so that he can live at home safely. And I know I'm not the only one out there in this kind of situation. And I know I'm also, severe autism isn't the only thing. I know there's people out there suffering with other conditions that something like this can help. And it's just not right to be able to take away this option for people. At least allow us to give it a try. So I got a little bit of my soapbox there a little bit.
No, look, Bill, I appreciate that update. And I got a text here from Daniel from Normal who said, House Bill 1111 is a better bill. Let doctors decide. Look, Daniel, these are going to get reconciled. That's in the House. Ben Klein is sponsoring that. That's a good bill. We're going with Donovan's bill in the Senate for now because I think that's got the best chance of Senate passage. The cannabis bill is going to pass in the House because they basically need 2 out of 100 Republicans to flip on it. Every Democrat is going to vote in favor of it. So the battle really is in the Senate, Daniel. It's not in the House. So that's why we're going with Dr. Donovan.